For our next panel, which I'm delighted to be chairing, we're going to be looking at discovering and implementing the latest technologies. Now, this is everything from wind to solar to capturing carbon and turning it into something else, to usable products, to sailing giant ships across the ocean with sails. We're going to, before the speakers take the stage alongside me, we've got a short video to introduce the topic.
Innovation and revolutionary ideas are at the heart of the transition. Will current innovation efforts allow, if they remain at the same level, to fight climate change appropriately? How can the time of widespread adoption be reduced? What are the most disruptive tools currently being developed?
I'm really excited to introduce my panel to you. I'll ask them to come and take the stage. We've got Gunter Pauli, the author of the book, The Blue Economy. We have Neil Joyeux. He's the merchant Navy officer and the co-founder at Zephyr and Bouret in France. We have Laszlo Giritz. He's the founder and CEO of Poseidon. And we have Eric Scotto, who's the president and co-founder of Akuo Energy. He's been doing that for 15 years, in fact. And also Professor Graciela Ciechelnyski. She's professor at Columbia University, and as well, she is the CEO of Global Thermostat. So we'll be hearing from all of our esteemed speakers in just a moment. But to kick us off, Gunter, you wrote The Blue Economy 10 years ago, 100 different innovations, 100 million jobs. It's been re-edited several times, and it gives a really in-depth view of how we can transform, in fact, our world. So to kick us off, I wonder if you could just give us a few thoughts.
Well, I can give more than a few thoughts, and I think I can entertain you for quite a few days, because if you have to go through 100, you have an awful lot of material to show. I wonder if the presentation is coming up there, or if it is not coming up. Can you just show it, please? Anyway, my main thing is that we need innovations that are very disruptive. I mean, if you're not disruptive, you're not really acting. And let me just permit me to stand up so I can look at everyone at the same time a little bit better. Is that okay?
Please.
Okay. So I've just arrived from China last night, and please keep in mind that if we want to change the world, you better work on China. You can do a lot in the Mediterranean, and that's fantastic. I've been compared to Steve Jobs, but my Latin American friends call me the Che Guevara. That's why I put on a white shirt and a jacket in order to be a bit more acceptable. I need to show you where I live. I live the way I walk. You can't do it differently. I live in Japan, in Kamakura, on 54 square meters. This is my window. I have no television in my place. I have no air conditioning in my place. We got to live the way we are. We got to live simple. We got to live beautiful. And I think it's very important that also my children, I have 6 children, my children are also living that way. It is key, and my dogs even love it that way. We have to live the way we walk. There are too many people talking and living a completely different life that is totally out of touch with reality and the limitations we have. And my role is to look at what do we have. In '91, I concluded that we need to work with what the Earth is already producing. We cannot expect the Earth to produce more. And this was my little factory in Belgium. I can talk for hours about the factory, but the only perhaps important innovation at the time is the parking lot. How many cars do you see? None. Why? Well, because it's not Sunday, it's working Monday, but I paid everyone €0.5 a kilometer to ride the bicycle to work. And guess what? Belgians come to work on a bicycle for €0.5 per kilometer, period. I mean, innovations sometimes are not very difficult. All my customers who wanted to buy my product had to plant a flower on the roof. Now, people remember when Mr. Sainsbury came to plant a flower on the roof, the kids of Mr. Sainsbury still remember Dad had to go and plant a flower on the roof before the guy would sell the products to us. That's what we need to do. It's not only high tech, it's the way we approach the business. So I'm going to go through 3 cases. One is light. This is Nakamura. He invented the LED. The invention of the LED was a great breakthrough because we're finally seeing that electricity is not going to be too diverted into heat, and we're going to get more light. These innovations allow us today to see that within 2-3 years, 99% of all the energy we use to produce light will be light, and only 1% will be heat. But now we start to understand how our eyes work. You know, during the day, you have a blue light. All these lights are blue. That's the day. That's when our pupil gets small and our brain connects to 5 million neurons. At night, we have a reddish light. That's when our brain opens up the pupil, and now we're connected to 120 million neurons. It's 24 times better. The innovation of the technology is not the LED lamp and the energy savings alone. It is the LED lamp, the energy savings, and understanding that we cannot give blue light, which gives us sleepless nights. We have to give a reddish light, which will open our pupils and let our eye do the work. And now we come to the revolution that we're witnessing. It is big data and plants. You know, plants need light. Life needs light. And chlorophyll is the key. Now, what many scientists didn't realize, why do plants have chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B? It's because A and B allows the plants to see the rising of the sun every day slightly different, and that gives them a GPS and a calendar. The plants know where they are and what day of the year it is, and that triggers their growth. How can we go for genetics? How can we go for chemistry when what you have to give to the strawberry is light? We can time the exact farming of a strawberry by giving it light, not chemistry, not genetics. We're doing it with salads. From a seed of a salad to the harvesting of the salad is today 2 weeks, and it's bio-certified, organically certified. This is the revolution, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing, because it allows us to have, for example, in the Netherlands in February this year, for the first time in history, we produced 50 million tulips on the 13th of February. So for the first time in the Netherlands, St. Valentine's Day was with tulips and not with roses that were chipped in by airplanes from Colombia with the cocaine along with it. Zero chemistry, zero genetics, 80% water saving, 95% energy savings, and we rise productivity by factor 6. Ladies and gentlemen, that is breakthrough innovation. We're putting up greenhouses around the world and it's functioning. Second case, diapers. This is the biggest mess we have invented recently. This is an example of how stupid humanity can be. I'm the chairman of the largest bioplastics company of Europe. I know we can redesign these very easily. This is how it looks like in advertising, but this is how it looks like to the parents when they take it off. What the hell do you do with this? I mean, everyone just dumps it, and it gets into the seas as well. We are using the waste of bamboo to make a very fine cellulose that is the filler. Then we're using charcoal, which our Chinese friends know very well is excellent for the skin. Bamboo charcoal plus cellulose plus bioplastics. That gives us, through a fermentation process, black earth. It's biochar, charcoal, natural wastes, and bioplastics combined. And that allows us for one baby to produce every year 1 ton of black earth, which is good enough to plant 1,000 trees. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in the tree business. We're selling trees at 38 euro per tree, get a 10% commission, that's 3,800 euros per year, and let's do the calculation together. 1,000 babies, 1,000 trees. 1,000 trees in 10 years, 50 kilograms of fruits per baby, per tree, times 1,000 is every baby is producing 50 tons of fruit. So ladies and gentlemen, if we're not thinking like that, we're not going to make it. It's not enough to substitute one with the other. We have to change the business models. The reason why I'm here is because there's a commitment to change the business model. We got to innovate the business models, otherwise we're just doing more of the same. I'm very happy to say that it just got an award in France, and Eric, if he's here, he can talk to it more in detail. Hi, Eric. Thank you. The boats. Disgraceful how they still keep on using the heavy fuels. Disgraceful. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to see that there was the Energy Observer. Here is the boat that we have launched. We're now 60,000 kilometers down. We're just left Valparaiso in Chile. We're on our way. 512 square meters of solar panels gives us 1 full day of propulsion, or we can fill our batteries of hydrogen. I fully much agree. The combination of solar, sea, and hydrogen is the only future you have. We have demonstrated it works over 60,000 kilometers in the roughest seas. We're at this moment processing, but combining with the technologies that are being presented later on, we have to use sky sails, kites. Don't say there's no wind in Monaco. That is true when you're only 80 meters up. But we go to 850 meters, you always have wind. So we put our sails at 850 meters. This 40 square meter sail pulls a 100-ton boat. It works, it's operating. We're doing this around the world. We're doing our second tour around the world, and we're about to arrive in Rapa Nui, Easter Island. You remember Jared Diamond collapse? Well, what he said that happened in Rapa Nui in Easter Island is false. It is not true. I don't have the time to go into detail. That's for coffee. But what is more important is we're sailing now to Easter Island, and we're telling the people in Easter Island that if you have seawater, if you have sun, if you have wind, you have water, you have fuel, and you have all the farming you want. That's the solutions we need. It's an 85 million euro project. It is fully funded. We don't need money. Money follows concrete projects. Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, I wrote this book, The Blue Economy. We have today, thanks to the 3,000 scientists we bring together, we have today more than 200 projects implemented. We have mobilized 5 billion euros in investments already. I mean, money follows. My latest book just came out in France, and it says, Soyons aussi intelligents que la nature. We have to understand how nature works. But ladies and gentlemen, nothing is going to work if we don't tackle education. We have to inspire children. You're not inspiring children, not much is going to change in the generations to come. So our biggest investment, 50% of our foundation's money, goes to educational initiatives. It's the only way to go about. Thank you.
Thank you.